Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. The pro player frustrations with Vanguard continue to mount, especially because Halo does a surprise launch yesterday with a load of features that Call of Duty never seems to get on release. But also, aBeZy and Simp shutting up their critics with a nice little tournament victory last night. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hitting the like button is the best thing you can do to help this channel reach more people. Please consider subscribing as well if you have not already. Firstly, from the Los Angeles, Thieves, Kenny and Drazah having a pretty good time, of course, the teammate right now, but another pretty nasty team potentially on paper is the Royal Ravens, or at least a team that contains Nasty on their rumoured roster of Nasty, Afro, Zero and Gizmo. Now, as Mutineers say, Vanguard is missing just one thing: bring it back London Docks from World War II. This, of course, a fantastic map in the World War II days for hardpoint search and destroy, kind of for CDL, even though you pretty much just ran the flag down the middle. It was kind of strange. We don't even know what the third game mode is going to be though in Vanguard, so that remains to be seen. But yeah, Vanguard missing just one thing. My concern is if they do bring this back, it's just going to be like doors and breakables. It's not going to play like it did back in World War II. Who knows though? But of course, the London Royal Ravens roster is another question mark. They say soon TM for when that's going to be announced, but I suppose that still remains very much up in the air. Another pretty damn good SMG duo is this one on the OpTic Texas side. Scump and Shotzi having a pretty good time in this kind of photo shoot they were doing yesterday with the players, some of the content creators, this type of stuff over at the Envy side of things. And there were some things revealed here if you look at this. I mean, you'll see our first media day with the whole crew. Hashtag green with Envy. As I say, the whole crew. We've got Scump and Shotzi here in the top right hand side. This image also comes out from most of their, well, former OpTic guys. I guess they're still really OpTic guys, but under the new merger. And, you know, we can see Scump and Shotzi on the right, Standy in the background, Maniak on the right-hand side. And then who's going to be the substitute for this OpTic team? Is it going to be Hector Rodriguez? Is it going to be Formal? We think he might be doing some Halo stuff. We'll have a look at here in just a second. Got Money Bose here on the left-hand side, who, of course, was one of the substitutes alongside General during the Modern Warfare season. And then General kind of was the sole guy during, of course, the OpTic Chicago's tenure last year. And now we imagine it will continue to be the case here, especially if they're describing it as the whole crew. So maybe confirming that once again, even though it hasn't been officially stated yet, the General will be the sub for OpTic Texas going into next year. Also, this came out from OpTic last night, the merger, a new episode of The Process. And I mean, I was kind of expecting something maybe a little bit longer. Maybe they'll bring in Hastro, have some discussion with some of the other players on how they feel it went down. But it was effectively Hector just talking about the situation for about 10 minutes or so. And then they announced the Halo team. So don't really want to touch too much on the episode itself. But the Halo discussion was pretty interesting because, of course, Envy come into Halo and they're now doing the transition to effectively being called OpTic, it seems, or something like that. I hope, obviously it makes sense for the Envy side, but I do hope that like a same situation doesn't go down with NRG, where like Envy kind of feel like, you know, bullied out of things by OpTic taking over, or the names of a load of their brands and a load of their, well, teams, I suppose, because the Warzone guys that were on Envy are now kind of the OpTic Warzone team, and then like it seems like the Halo team is now kind of the OpTic Halo team, so it definitely makes sense, but it is getting kind of strange. At the same time though, of course, like, well, it's pretty cool thing to see. Pistola, APG, Looted, Trippy, Lunchbox's coach are now like, well, under OpTic Halo. Now, of course, Formal nowhere to be seen here. Of course, that well, makes a fair bit of sense, but well, he was actually talking even before this merger went through. The Formal wanted to go and compete in Halo. We've talked about that the last couple of days, but it wasn't really going to happen on OpTic, and even on this OpTic team they've brought in from the Envy side, but Formal, I'm pretty sure, still even being part of OpTic, can probably just compete as a content creator. I can compete for another organization, another brand, when, well, that event drops in December sometime. But, well, anyway, this happened yesterday. Halo officially releases. Kind of a surprise, I think. I think it was meant to come out a little bit later than this, but they do the effectively multiplayer beta starts today, so people really hopping onto this one on Xbox and PC, and a load of things happened with this launch that just make a lot of people very jealous indeed from the Call of Duty perspective. And well, as they say right here, pledge your allegiance, HCS partnered team skins available now. So the game has just launched, it's literally just come out, and like it's effectively like a beta version of the game, but even then, all the teams that are going to be in the Halo Championship Series or whatever exactly they're calling it have their own skins. Cloud9, Envy, United, FaZe, Fnatic, G2, Na'Vi, Sentinels, and Space Station Gaming. Like, they've all got these really nice skins. This is something that, like, look, if we don't get ranked play at launch in Call of Duty, which of course we never do, at least something like this would just be phenomenal. But, I mean, it's just incredible how they bring this stuff in at launch, and Call of Duty just can never seem to get it right. Like, I understand not having ranked play at launch of Call of Duty, because you don't even know what you're going to be playing, right? Like, the maps are all chaotic. But, maybe even have some sort of simple 4 versus 4 playlist that people can play in on, like, the competitive rules or whatever, that, even when the official maps and modes haven't been determined yet, possibly, like, just have some sort of playlist to get away from the monotony and the frustration of public matches, and, you know, even maybe just bring team skins outright, because the fact of the matter is, if they can do this so early on, it just proves that maybe Call of Duty is a bit far behind on these issues. As FaZe say, that, you know, FaZe Halo team skin, people are absolutely loving it, right? Like, it'd be so good if this was a thing in Call of Duty at launch. Not the case though. We see this as well right from the shop, like all of these things you can buy it in the store, like all these different organizations, and like the OpTic one I think is coming soon, so this NV one is going to convert into kind of like an OpTic / NV one, so this is going to be very like sought after, I suppose. After a long period of time, it might not be available for too long, but it's just one of these things, as Crone says, you know, lol, like COD League, right, like we can't even get this stuff done, and you know, the Halo Esports are getting it right to the game's launch, and it's not just that, right, like they also get ranked play as well, esports skins on the very first day, like it's just like, wow, I mean, come on, come on lads, like we should be able to do better than this, you would think at this point, right? We've got a massive franchise league here. You would think that Call of Duty can actually make that work to, well, have a little bit more competitive focus. The pro players certainly seem to think that, as Envoy says, Halo releasing with team skins and ranked play kind of frustrated about the situation. Major Maniak as well, like seeing Halo drop with this, like frustrations from inside, pretty significant as well. And a lot of the pro players thought this was kind of funny, right? Because at the end of the day, it's just something that we would love to have in Call of Duty. Never really seems to be the case, and Halo nailing it from day one, to credit where it is due on that side. And as Revitalize points out, Halo Infinite has team skins at ranked mode, no bloom, and I'm pretty sure it's even free right now, the multiplayer side, at least on like maybe PC and Xbox. And COD Vanguard, baby, we got squad spawns, we got no ranked play, no team skins, we got bloom. It's absolutely fantastic. And this is just the things that, you know, the pro players are like, okay, lads, surely we can do better at this point. Yes, Halo does release every 10 years or whatever. I don't know how long Halo Infinite's going to last. It's going to be for a long time. They've had a long time to prepare and all this type of stuff. But at the same time, it doesn't matter how long Call of Duty has to prepare. Like, they never get this stuff right at launch, it seems. Of course, like, they've got other priorities, they've got other focuses. That makes sense. But you would just think with a proper franchise league now, some of this stuff could come relatively soon. We don't even have a date for when ranked play is going to be launching, despite the fact that we know Trek's involved. It is pretty frustrating stuff to deal with, to be honest. I wanted to talk about this tournament as well that went on yesterday, this eFuse tournament. Team Simp, aBeZy, Rated, and Noobs take down Team Scump and Co for the second time on the day to win. Well, they end up winning the entire thing. But pretty impressive, to be honest. Team Scump had a pretty nice squad as well, because they had Frosty, Hamza Frosty, now known as Hamza, I guess, and also Karma was on the team, and yeah, pretty nice squad of the old, what was the other player on the team? Yeah, Scump and Shotzi, of course, Karma and Hamza, and I think they had a pretty good run of things, and maybe they got streaks at a time, and then they kind of turtled up a little bit, and the Team Simp squad got the job done. It was meant to be like 2 pro players and then 2 Warzone guys, but it's kind of funny how they put their teams together with, like, okay, yeah, TJ Halley, I think, because he's not technically in the league, was considered a Warzone pro, because he's played a bit of Warzone and not technically a CDL pro for next year, at least as of right now. He might get signed to that 12th team if it comes through, or as a substitute somewhere. And Rated, of course, in a similar boat, right? And Rated, honestly, was like really good. I do hope that he gets a good shot here in Challenges, makes something work, because I'd love to see him back in the league. A very entertaining character, let's just say, and he obviously has the itch to still compete and to still be pretty nasty at the game. But of course, aBeZy and Simp were kind of in this boat where, obviously we talked about it yesterday, pretty frustrated with the state of Vanguard, and understandably so from a lot of different angles, but they're still grinding out the game, they're still getting great results in tournaments, and I think towards the end of this one, there were some pretty ridiculous kills that were going down from that side of things. And as Rated says, as they win the entire thing through the losers bracket, from losers round 2 all the way to finals to win it 3-0, $40,000 eFuse Vanguard Showdown champ. So they pocket a lot of change. Simp, aBeZy, and Noobs as well, $6,000 each. Not too bad at the end of it. And I mean, as aBeZy says right here, what you mean I'm just complaining about the game because I'm bad at it, right? So this is kind of the discussion yesterday when aBeZy wasn't too happy about the state of the game, and people were saying, aBeZy's not very good at it, that's why he's getting frustrated with the game. I think the argument was maybe some people were saying that. I think the argument was more like, if they don't like the game, they're probably not going to, have the consistency and the trajectory over time, I sound like Ben J. Asim, to actually be consistently good over many months. But at the same time, maybe that, it's not really too much of a factor, especially when you're Simp and aBeZy. Who really knows what these guys are capable of? Well, we know what they're capable of very much so, but how long can they continue that up? And whether it happens this year. But as he says, LOL, responding to the critics to some degree that they were saying he was bad at the game by still winning this entire tournament. And Simp goes on to say, shout out for the tourney. Super enjoyable, starting to understand hardpoint. So maybe, Simp and the frustrations of the last couple of days with the squad spawns and the way everything's working in the game has obviously been frustrating for the FaZe guys. They don't really seem to be enjoying their practice as much as some of the other teams do. But, apparently super enjoyable, starting to understand it. So that's the thing. If FaZe are actually starting to enjoy the game a little bit more now, then of course a scary time for the opposition with the grind and the time I'm sure they're going to put into this title. And even when they're not necessarily enjoying it so much, still winning an awful lot of tourneys and an awful lot of money. Because as Chrome points out right here, well, firstly, this one Blast, convinced Simp and aBeZy could win an event with a Sprite Cat as their 4th no BS. Arcitys, I thought was kind of funny in the reply, right? And, it's not, Blast goes on to say it's not exactly a stray. Arcitys, of course, fantastic, also insane. Alec and Cell also insane. That duo is just mind-blowing. They can pretty much win any anything until maybe like you are throwing some strays at Rated and News that I suppose they're playing with in this tournament. But still, those guys played very well indeed. This also I thought was a pretty ridiculous statistic. As Crone says, Simp and possibly aBeZy as well, but not quite, has almost made more tournament earnings in 10 days of Vanguard than Guerrillas have in 2 years. This is not a joke. So, you know, this is basically how it's gone. So in 2 years of competitive play in the CDL, the Los Angeles Guerrillas have made $30,000 in prize money. It's pretty tragic. You can see them down here, 30k, 20k in the 2021 season, 10k in the 2020 season. Only best, I mean, the team that had 0 in the 2021 season was actually Paris Legion with $0, which is pretty remarkable. They never made a top 8 the entire season. I'm pretty sure that's when you start to get 10k. However it goes, Los Angeles Guerrillas have 30k total earnings combined over the first couple of seasons, which pales in comparison to, for example, Atlanta FaZe, 3 million, Dallas Empire, 2.4 million. It's kind of insane. But, well, Simp has already won 2 40k tournaments, 10k each, and a bunch of other small tourneys as well. Now, I think Rated said in that tweet it was 6k, so I'm not exactly sure where the rest of the money goes, but whatever the case may be, Simp is not far away. Definitely Simp and aBeZy combined have won more than Guerrillas have the entire last couple of years in just the first couple of weeks of Vanguard, which is pretty absurd. There's more big tournaments on the way as well. I wouldn't be surprised if by like the end of this month, Simp certainly has won more money on his own than Guerrillas have the entirety of their CDL history, which is it's just a classic from these guys, to be honest. And well, bouncing back and, as I say, kind of well, countering their critics to some degree from these last couple of days. But also wanted to give a shout out from Rated as well, because this is a very nasty ace, spicy of spiciest ace in the finals. I love this clip because he takes down the first 2 kills, and then the last 2 kills are just a joke. He just ego Charles the hell out of it, and he's just like, yeah, way better than these guys. Honestly, like on this form, it could be a very solid AR once again in the league for this upcoming season. Would be excited to see it, but of course, will the opportunity arrive? That remains to be seen. Very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hitting the like button tells the YouTube gods this is a good video. Others like you should see it as well, and help grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you much as always. Take care, and I will see you next time.
Right here.
Hey, top right, A. He's still there,
Okay. Yeah, top mid.
Naded it, watch out.
Is there one more there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, top, almond top. You might reach on me.
Right. I'll music goes back,
I'm A side.
Bomb church.
Wait for the kill.
Bomb church, I'm just so much better.